Well, greetings everyone. This is module 4 of our course, Intercultural Communication Matters. And in this one, we're dealing with differences. So it's really important to understand what it's like to live in a mixed community. And we have several things that we need to be looking at, things like social patterns, our responses, the language we use. So we're very lucky in having Peter here today, who in fact has lived in France and Spain and really understands the pros and cons of living in a mixed community. So it's over to you, Peter, so that you can tell us some of what is good and what you have to think about.
I think the main thing that one has to think about if one moves abroad is language. I, first of all, moved to Torrevieja on the Costa Blanca in Spain, and it was just really a British ghetto, a very large one. And most of the people there regarded it as Britain in the sun, with their own bowls clubs, golf clubs, bars, restaurants. They made no effort to assimilate or to learn the language or to interact with Spanish people. I remember that I play table tennis, so that's an international language, as is all sport. So I could ring up in any country and say, "Can I come and play?" "Yes, come along." And I played for a club in the Spanish league, and a British person said to me, "Why do you play at a Spanish club?" And I said, "Well, I live in Spain." But they didn't really live in Spain. I then moved further north to Catalonia, to a small village, which was very interesting. And one thing that struck me was the family-oriented life they had, 3 to 4 generations living in the village, or if sons or daughters or grandsons or granddaughters had moved away to work, they came to visit at the weekend, something I'd not seen in Britain or in France. But again, I made the effort, I spoke the language, and I found everybody made me very welcome. Whereas there are others, mainly living out in the country, who didn't really bother to come into the village, didn't talk to local people. And if I mentioned them, the locals just shrugged their shoulders. And it was also true in France. In France, it was quite amusing to go to a government office or the police station, and they would sort of look and think, "Oh, another Brit who doesn't speak the language." But when I spoke to them and spoke in French or in Spanish, um, they were very polite and very helpful. And so I think there is so much that's important about, if you go to live abroad, you must learn the language and you must assimilate. If you do so, you will be made welcome. If you don't, then I'm sorry, I don't have a great deal of sympathy.
Yeah. It's a really important point, that, isn't it? The language, because it enables you to communicate.
I think another thing is that if there are a large number of people of a particular nationality in another country, we've seen it in Britain, it's certainly true in parts of France, the Costa Blanca in Spain, all the same nationality, no need to speak the local language. And it's a problem. If you go to live in a village and you're one of the very few, you mustn't speak the language or you're going to be very alone.
Yeah. Well, thank you for making those points, Peter, because it is really important, isn't it? You have to make an effort.
Absolutely.
If you go to another country and you have to assume a bit their identity.
You have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.